July 14th, 2026. Dear Confused Me. Do you ever have things get so muddled in your head that you can't make sense on how to process it? It's like that saying, when it rains, it pours. Things just happen all at once. Punch after punch after punch after punch. And you just don't know where to start. I feel like I should have expected today to go poorly. I have had far too many days that went well that I should have been prepared for the storm. I have felt happy. I have not worried about anything. I've been having a good time. I almost feel like I got cocky in being happy. Cocky in being relaxed. And there's nothing like the world to show you why you shouldn't. Today, I've been working on the final piece of the journal that I really hope that you guys are going to enjoy. I've put a lot of thought into how the questions are asked and how it flows, and I wanted it to be meaningful. It's important to me. And it's important to me that it is done right for you. So, with excitement today, I got up and I worked on it. And then I had a friend call me. She needed some help. And I am who I am. So my first thought is, sure, why not? I'll go help. And I did. I picked her up and took her where she needed to go. Got to tell her about my podcast that she hadn't known about. While we were waiting in the office for her appointment, my boyfriend called. I absolutely love when he calls me. Not just because he calls me, and not just because the tone of his voice is so soothing to me. It's safe for me. It's like being wrapped up in a hug of love, hearing his voice, because it's very consistent to me. It's very special to me. It's very important to me. So, he called me today, and wasn't anything in particular that we talked about. It never is. We just flow from topic to topic. Recently, we discussed why I was upset the last time we had spoken. And we were talking about how that went down and why that went down and my thought process behind it. And how that ties into the things that happened with my husband. And it was just a great conversation. It was great hearing his side of you. It was great not being so caught up in my feelings of being angry that I could share my side of you. And while the conversation didn't look like him telling me, oh, you're right about this and you're right about that, he was able to acknowledge the parts in which I was right, which I didn't feel like I got the first time. I had more time to process what I was saying, which meant that when I came to the conversation, I wasn't just looking for a total agreement on everything. I was looking for a conversation. And we had just that. We talked about how your actions should align with your words. And for me, that is extremely important. If I can't see what you're saying, I'm not likely to believe what you're saying. I use the example of if we were to ever go out in the area that we live in, and I were to say, hey, this is him, my boyfriend, people would probably gawk at us pretty funny. They would ask, aren't you married? And I am. Wait, he has a girlfriend? Well, no. No, he doesn't. But nonetheless, he's my boyfriend. He knows I introduced him as my boyfriend. That's just what I say. I've been saying it for 15 years. As far as I'm concerned, that's my boyfriend. Just as equally, I can understand that we are in a relationship. Our relationship is a very important and special relationship to me. I don't need someone to say, "Oh, are you guys dating?" to validate how important our relationship is. I know I mean a lot to him. I know that if he could move heaven and earth for me, he absolutely would. But he will also be the first person to put me in my place. Not in a mean, do what I say kind of way, but in a, hey, here's the part that you're missing. He knows how to be gentle and firm. He knows when to push, and he knows when to stand back. And it felt so good to just talk to him. So then I get off the phone and I make myself some lunch and I call my local best friend. And if I don't shout him out as my best friend, then he gets really agitated. And we are just hanging out and we're talking and we're laughing. I put on music. I'm dancing. The song I'm dancing to reminds me of my other best friend because that was like her favorite song for a while. And I'm just enjoying myself. Then I'm like, you know what? I should do some more work. And I work really well when I'm working in my office because I'm able to focus more, but I like to play around in the living room. Today, I came into my office. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to do work. I'm going to listen to some music. I had a plan. And then I got a text message. And that's where things started to take a turn. So, my family is a complicated one. And it doesn't always look like what people expect my family to look like. I have shared that my son was away with his boyfriend. I say away, but it wasn't like they took a vacation or anything. He was just visiting his boyfriend. And that situation is so tricky because I can see the love they have for each other. It's undeniable. These two kids care so much about each other. And then there are parents. And I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that parents shouldn't be aware of what's going on in their kid's life. We should. But we also have to acknowledge our kids' role in their life. This particular parent likes to lay blame at anyone's feet other than her own child. Her son's great. Absolutely adore him. He's not perfect. No one expects him to be. Except for his mom. So, whenever mom has a problem in something, it is always, my child has done something. My child has agitated it. My child, my child, my child. And sometimes it's really hard turning the other cheek. Sometimes it's really hard being the bigger person. And I try to be, because I know that's my responsibility, and that's what's best for my kid. But it's hard, because I would love to give a piece of my mind to whomever decides to go up against my child. And I know that's not the thing to do. So, I bite my tongue, and I try to make the best of it. And then, I'm told that my child is not a good influence on their child. My child is not a good influence. Your child has made the decision who they want to love, who they want to be with, who they want to be around, and my child is the bad influence. It couldn't possibly be that your child was old enough to make his own decisions. The crowd he wants to hang out with, the people he wants to interact with. No. It's my child that must be corrupting your child. To say that to say that to another parent is diabolical, because it almost forces you to think that one child has mind control over another child, as if their parents didn't raise them to be able to make their own decisions. But, I mean, what should I expect? This particular parent feels like they have to go above and beyond in how they raise their child, secretly figuring out their location, secretly having conversations with friends. I don't do that with my kid. Why? My kid talks to me. I don't have to go ask his friends what he's doing. I don't have to sneak around to figure out where he's at. I have that conversation with my kid talks to me. But yeah, my kid's the bad influence. And then, while I am processing and trying to deal with that, I get a text message from, at best I can call her my sister, because that's essentially what she is. She is the mother of my niece and my nephew. And she calls me today, and she tells me that she's being diagnosed with cancer. Cancer. Wow. That's closer to home than I'd like for it to be. And while she obviously called me to tell me the news in and of itself, what really sparked the conversation is my nephew had seen a commercial and had pointed out, okay, I don't want to be negative or scare you, but Mom, what if you die? Who do I have to go live with? And then he specifically asked, can we go live with my auntie? Can you ask her? In the short amount of time that I found out she had cancer, I am processing that his first thought, if his mom disappears, is that he'd want to live with me and not his dad. And I understand that. It's a really complicated relationship, and I have always been there for my niece and nephew. I will continue being there for my niece and nephew. I would gladly take them in. But there's so many feelings tied up in this. It's fear and sadness. It's wondering how we got to this place. It's the unknown of what could happen and when it could happen. It's the admiration that he would choose me. It's the worrying about if I'm next. It's the sadness in recognizing that the life I live isn't the one that I want. It's the anger I feel for my kid being made a problem when he isn't. It's the shock I have when someone does something that they always do, and I still don't expect it. It's the nonchalant way I handle the dismissal of my feelings. And it's all happening at once. And I can feel the storm brewing. I can feel its way, making its way through my body and my head. I am supposed to start a new job tomorrow. And I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. with everything else going on, with all my other concerns, I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. It's a lot. And my support system isn't wide enough to catch all the feelings that I have. And I know that there are several people I can call and talk to. Got a best friend waiting up for me. I've got one that just called me. Boyfriend just messaged me. And at any given time, I can tell any of them how I'm feeling. But I still don't know what to do with the feelings. I still don't know how to process it. I still don't know how to acknowledge them, work through them. I just feel them. And it makes me anxious. It makes me sad. I don't understand how the world could be so cruel. There are so many people hurting for so many things. And then to top it all off, we have to worry about people blaming other people for their actions. I'm having a really hard time putting those feelings into a place where it's not going to overwhelm me. And it's hard. It's hard acknowledging that I should have been prepared for this, when realistically, there's no way to prepare for this. You can't prepare for someone coming to tell you that they have cancer that you care about. You can't prepare for your kid's heart to possibly get broken. You can't prepare to share your feelings with someone and have them dismissed. Like, those aren't the type of things that you can put on armor for. Those aren't the kind of things that you can read a book and it tells you what to do. It's not the kind of thing that someone can just walk you through. It's the kind of thing that you get to just sit with and feel, no matter how heavy it is. Tonight's really hard. I am going to wait for my kid to come home. And I know he's going to be upset and sad, and I don't have the words to make him feel better. But it won't stop me from trying. And I'm going to sit here and worry about my sister. Because I don't want her to go through that alone. And while she's not alone, she has her fiancé. It's not like I'm there to help. And then I get to wonder if I feel this way and I'm this scared and nervous, how are my niece and nephew holding up? It's their mom. So, I'll do what I usually do. I will put on a brave face for everybody else, and I will shove my emotions to the side. And I'll deal with them at a later date. Because I don't want anyone else to feel like they have to do that. I don't want any more people to hurt than they have to. I started this podcast with that in mind, that I wanted to make sure people were seen and people were heard. Because crying by yourself is hard. Being alone is hard. Being scared is hard. So today, I am going to remember the things that I tell you guys every night. I am going to think of my piece of pie, which today was the breakthrough on the journal and helping a friend. And I'm going to process my feelings for as long as I can. And then at some point, I'm going to take a break from them. And I'm going to put them in a box. And I'm going to close the lid. And it's not that I'm avoiding them. It's that I've reached my limit for the night. And I'm going to lock it up. And I'm going to put the key in a safe place until I'm ready to process them again. Tonight, that's the page in my story. It's not pretty, and it's not bubbly, and it's not fun. It's not perfect, but it's written. So, for anyone who's still listening, I want you to just remember, today is another page in the story. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be written. And before you close your journal tonight, ask yourself, what was your piece of pie today? Until tomorrow, love you loud.